Good morning, good morning, good morning, squad. Hello, hello. Hold on a second. Let me get this chat out. Let's see who's gonna join me this early in the morning. You know, it's early to me. Hey, so Steph. What's up? Golden Goods, Brownstone in the house. Squad is in the building. What is up? Oh, I almost fell. What's up? I am Love. Hey, squad. Yes, good morning. Good morning. No, I'm still kind of hoarse, child. I'm like, ooh, it is early. What's up, Jerome? I see you. Everyone's in the building. Yes. I wanted to talk about this Monique situation real quick. Um, I'll let a few more people roll in while I get the situation together. I missed y'all. Oh my God. I missed y'all. Hey, Outspoken One. Alfreda. Yes, D. Ramsey. I missed y'all. How y'all been? What's been going on in these YouTube streets? Hold on. Let me get it. If you haven't already, I wrote about it yesterday on straightfromtheA.com about the Monique Lee Daniels Dame Dash. Y'all know Dame. Lee apologized to Dame Dash, but he meant in the process managed to throw quite a bit of shade at Monique. Let me see if I can read a little bit for y'all if y'all haven't caught up. He says she Daniels is a mess. Okay, of course, you know, news of Damon Dash publicly confronting Lee Daniels at the Diana Ross concert last week went viral. You know, he was confronting him over a $2 million loan that he had failed to be paid back, and sometimes it's been years. The incident offered Monique a bit of fuel, you know, for her claims of being blackballed by Lee Daniels. And, you know, with that fuel, she decided she would leak the phone conversation between her husband, and Tyler Perry, which we talked about, you know, a few days ago. Okay. Daniels has since responded to both Monique and Damon Dash, and he claims one situation has absolutely nothing to do with the other. In fact, while he respectfully apologizes to Dame Dash, he calls Monique disrespectful, wrong, and completely out of pocket. Okay, so there's video on, you know, the interview was by, you know, Rox Rants of TMZ. And so a lot of people are, you know, feeling like, you know, what is this, you know, and I don't want to bring this whole gay man bashing black woman situation in, but it appears that, you know, Lee Daniels, you know, he was disrespected. You know, it's clear he was disrespectful to Dame Dash by not paying him his money, right? Okay, Dame Dash pretty much disrespected him by embarrassing the hell out of him at the Diana Ross concert, correct? And now he goes on and pretty much is like, oh, you know, he's a good guy. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be able to do all of this. And, you know, I'm going to give him his money. I'm going to make sure he gets his money. You know, everything is cool, you know, because like Lee Daniels don't want no smoke with Dame Dash. It's clear. You know, but with Monique, on the other hand, he was like, she's totally disrespectful. She's calling Tyler Perry and Oprah and bringing all my power players into play. You know, she just needs to shut up and, you know, move on. And so it's like, really? I mean, to me, it's almost like, you know, since Monique was, you know, in his employ, per se, he could have at least offered a bit more of a managerial type position. You know, if he felt like he wasn't wrong, he could have just been, you know, clearly, you know, Monique and I had a contract, you know, we let it go. But to say what he said, I feel in the public eye was pretty disrespectful. You know, and to his, you know, I'm gonna play some of it. Hold on a second. I'm just like, really? Is this what we doing? Is this what we doing? Hold on, let me block some things out. Put this up here. He's backpedaling for real. He really is. I'm gonna play this little clip where he said they're both a bit different.
Being super successful. Yes. And now she's being very disrespectful. And I think that I think people are confusing the Damon Dash with the Monique. Damon Dash is completely different from Monique. Monique, I fought hard for her to get that job. I wanted her to get that job, and she was paid her money. She's paid the money for the budget that we had. And for her to badmouth myself and Tyler and Oprah is disrespectful, and it's wrong. She's wrong. She's out of pocket. She's really wrong, and I respect her.
I don't know what just happened. Oh, it's streaming. So, let me see if I can stop it. Let's go stream me in.
And for her to continue to talk about Oprah and myself and Tyler is disrespectful. And her motive though. I don't understand her motive. I don't get it. I really don't. I mean, I can talk. All three legends for the culture all have done tremendous things, and all for her. Icons. All for her. Like you were really down with Mo. I mean, like Mo, like to get that performance from her, she had to bare her soul to me. I had to bare my soul to her. Yeah, that was like making love without having sex. I understand. You understand? That's there's levels to that. Exactly. And for her to think that that I could do anything, but I don't know. It ain't even worth a conversation. She needs to shut up. Of course. I completely agree. If I was in her position, I would have run. If I would have run with that Oscar opportunity and soared. She did run with it. She had her own show afterwards. Yes, she did have a lot of different roles, like very successful from that. Mm-hmm. And I've seen what you brought. I'm like, I don't understand exactly why. And I work with the same people. I work with the same people over and over again. Gabby, I put her right on Empire. Like I like working with the same people over and over again. Like people like working with me. You being gay, right? Yeah. And then it goes out there, and they be like, "Do you feel that it affects you in Hollywood at all today? Still?"
Okay, so some people feel like Lee was, a little bit, disrespectful in himself by, basically saying, she needs to shut up. She needs to shut up, as if her claims aren't valid, and again, he said he fought hard for her to get the role that she was paid the money for in the budget. He also said that she was wrong and out of pocket. He said, and this is a quote, "I respect her as an actor because she gave me her soul, but I gave her my soul, and for that she was given the Golden Globe and Academy Award." So to me, that quote in itself kind of sounds like he's taking a little bit of credit for her performance and her accolades, but who knows. She's saying that he also said no one blackballed her. Monique blackballed herself. And, for her to continue to talk about Oprah, myself, and Tyler Perry is disrespectful. We heard that part. In the end, it's like, okay, what? I don't know. Is there like a way that he could have said this a little bit more professionally, in at least acknowledging her claims as an actress, a black actress in Hollywood who has faced her own set of struggles after winning the Academy Award. I mean, yes, as we said the other day, Gerald, that yes, I feel like she has some part to play. We do feel like her husband has some part to play, but her claims, are her claims. They're not, specific to her. They're her claims in Hollywood. This is what happens to, women of color. But okay, that being said, Monique also explained, why exactly she leaked the phone conversation and what she felt would could possibly come out of it. And the backlash, she's saying that she doesn't feel there'll be any additional backlash because hell, she'd already lost her career. What's the point? She had nothing to lose. But anyway, I want you to hear what Monique said. Hold on a second.
Manner. Do you believe this will cause even more backlash from Tyler Perry? If it does, Rashad, then so be it. Because putting this tape out, well, when the women hear this black man saying this black woman did nothing wrong, it's up to the community at this point. See, I can't worry about the backlash from Tyler Perry because I've already received it based off of a lie. So again, when you say backlash, and I've had hear people say, oh, Monique really put the nail in the coffin. Oh, Monique, if that is the case, then so be it. But because I really dig and I love our community, I feel like I am obligated to say, listen, this is what goes on behind the closed doors. And we have to play it because you were given the opportunity to fix it. And though this was a private conversation, it was going to be based upon his promise, a public conversation. So we are not providing anyone with anything that he did not state that he was going to already say to the world. And this, in fact, was what you will call our insurance policy. We believe that when you give a person a year to say something, what your intent was, this was that opportunity to do so. We love the brother, as we said before on the audio. Love Oprah, like they should be applauded for all that they have done. But sometimes you've got to love people enough to stand up to them so that one day you can potentially stand together.
So he's saying, they're just standing up for what they believe is right. What do y'all think of this situation? What do y'all think of Lee Daniels' response to Dame Dash versus Lee Daniels' response to Oprah? What do you think? Do you think Lee Daniels was disrespectful to, Monique, a black woman, versus being so respectful to Dame Dash, a strong black man? Like, there's some levels to this respect situation. And I'm just looking at it like, he could have handled both a little bit, better. Of course, he could have been paid Dame his money, perhaps. And then there would have never been a need for Dame to disrespect him in public. But in doing so, Monique hasn't confronted him and, or her husband hasn't ran up on him or whatever. At the end of the day, like, they tried to have conversations and they've hit a brick wall. So what's the difference here? The lines are open. Hold on a second. I think I put the number in the description box. Let me call in. The number is the same. It's 347-514-7350. Hold on.
Please enter your PIN number.
And the PIN number is 429-8651. Zills, can you put the number in there?
Thank you. Joining the conference now. You are currently the only person in this conference.
429-7350. 429-8659. If you haven't already, like this video. Thank you so much, Jerome. Like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Call in numbers 347-514-7350. PIN number 4290. Oops, I'm sorry. I put the wrong pin. It's my bad. 429-8651. That's right. 429-8651. Stephanie put the wrong pin number. Okay, caller 5826. You are on the line.
Hey, Michelle, it's Dee Ramsey.
Hey, Dee Ramsey. How you doing, friend?
Hey, baby. Girl, I'm at work, but listen. If I got to go, it's because I'm at work. But I got to just talk on this real quick. I have watched this entire thing with Monique from the very, 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 very beginning. I am a fan of hers. But I've got to say this, and I don't care about how unpopular it is. When the whole thing first started, Monique, her point, I understand her point.
Mm-hmm.
However, when her and her husband went on their Periscope and they kept trying to, in my opinion, make somebody say something on their behalf in a public manner. So when her and her husband on the tape they released, first they told us that this was the conversation. Now she has released the conversation. They keep trying to antagonize Tyler Perry to come out and publicly say that Monique was not problematic. And they kept cutting him off. Tyler Perry kept saying, listen, I did not work with her directly, but as a producer of the show, of the movie, she was a problem because everybody else was doing this work and you all didn't want to do the work and kept asking for money, so that did pose a problem. And if you listen to it very carefully, Tyler is saying, okay, I understand what you're saying. However, there is a better way to go about creating the dialogue and getting the respect and the things that you say that you want. So we're not against Monique getting the things that she wants, but it's the ways in which you say it. Now, I'm a manager. I'm a finance manager, right? Mm-hmm. But I have people above me. So when I go to the general manager and I want a pay increase, or I feel like, okay, for instance, the 4th of July is on a Wednesday, which is tomorrow. That's my normal day off. Well, they changed it all of a sudden this year and said I have to work. Now, I could have been acted a fool because I done already made plans, but I didn't. We're going to get off early. I just waited to let everything settle down, and I just said, is it okay if I leave a little bit early because you made this change? Okay, fine. Monique is coming at Lee Daniels and Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey as if these people are not your boss. Mm-hmm. They are. Nobody in here, unless you're self-employed, can talk to their boss any kind of way, even if you do have the valid point, even if you are in the right. You still have to present yourself in a manner which is respectful. I don't think Lee Daniels was disrespecting her right there. I think he was telling the truth.
Okay.
I think he was saying about her. Remember, he hasn't said anything publicly since that he can suck my, everybody can suck her dick, right? Mm-hmm. So he was answering a whole lot of information. He's backing up and saying, hey, she's been out of pocket and she just released this tape.
Right.
Why would anybody want to work with Monique and her husband if nothing is sacred? If I can't trust a private conversation to remain private, you've got to tell everybody your business because you're telling me you love the culture so much. What has Monique done for the culture other than complain about her own personal millionaire plight? And I'm just saying, now let's be real. Precious was one of the most horrific movies and depictions of black life I've ever seen. I am psychologically scarred. I wish I'd never seen it. Because she participated in that coonery.
So what do you think?
All the way down. Lee Daniels ain't no saint. So she did win an Oscar. She did win these accolades. Everybody knows that there is a pay disparity in Hollywood. However, Monique and her husband focus on this one thing instead of focusing on making art, making comedy, putting themselves. Tyler Perry said that. Hey, I understand what you're saying. Why don't we get you in something good so you can reestablish your relationship with people?
Right.
If you've got I'm a powerful black woman in my own field. I am the only black woman in the region, in my field. Full of white men, people who are not qualified to promote it over me, make more money than me. I cannot succumb to the angry black woman trope, though, when I am in the process of doing my job. Right? You just
you can't.
I do understand her point.
I totally understand her point as well, but she's coming across as the angry black woman, even though she's saying she's not, and that's where the problem.
Exactly. That is exactly my point.
Yeah.
And she keeps harping on this idea that, oh, I love the culture. What she's doing is trying to bully Tyler Perry into coming out and saying something publicly. And if you listen to the conversation, her husband, even though he's talking in a calm manner, he's very condescending when he's talking to people. Mm-hmm. He's talking to them as if they are stupid. I hate when somebody talks to me like that. The way he's like, my brother, will see if we do this, and when you say this way, don't effing tell me how I'm thinking and what I'm saying. That is, if he's talking like that to people, no wonder she's in the position she's in. No one wants to be talked to as if they're stupid. These people are multimillionaires. Whatever they've done to get into the position they've done, they have played the game and they have gotten there. Mm-hmm. So for those two people who are in a subordinate position to be talking to their bosses and their higher up like that, how are you going to get somewhere?
Woo, D.
So no, I don't think Lee Daniels was, huh?
I said, D, you better preach this morning. No, I feel you.
No, because listen, I listen to this crap all the time, and it's not that people are disrespecting this black woman. We understand who you are. We love you and all of this, but this wrapping yourself in the, Hattie McDaniels, I'm fighting for the culture cloak is disingenuous. You can change the system by being in the system and being respectful of the system.
Right.
And still call it out for being, well, of course, we know that it's biased. But however, 10,000 Indians can't be wrong. You mean to tell me every black actress and actor in Hollywood? I'm from California. I've been an extra. I used to be a stand-up. I know how this game is played. You mean to tell me everybody in that industry is selling out? Everybody in the industry is sucking up? Everybody in the industry is not being faithful to the black cause? That's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, she made
and
a
for
point
her to
that
come at Oprah Winfrey, come on, man. The one point I will say that I do agree with Monique on, because I was there when it happened. I remember watching that Oprah episode when Oprah brought her family on, and my mom was alive at the time, and I remember looking at my mother and going, "What in the hell is Oprah doing?
Yeah.
Why would she do that?" She's a survivor of child molestation as well. I am a survivor of child molestation. I couldn't believe that Oprah brought her family on there. But I also said to my mother, I don't know what Monique has done to piss Oprah off, but something has happened, because there's no way that woman would do that. Something has happened. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I remember saying that then. So when Monique talked about it recently, I went, aha, okay.
Yeah, there was some kind of breakdown in the relationship. That
was a breakdown. It was a place of, it's not. And then here's again. Listen, I'm just talking about somebody who I used to be in this industry. Not a big person, but I have been on some television shows. I have been in this area on some. I actually covered for Monique. I'm gonna give you a little detail. Doing stand up back when Wanda Smith used to have that club down in, I forgot what club it was, but I covered for Monique once because she couldn't make it because Wanda was late. But my point is, when you are asked to do a movie or whatever, you don't get paid extra to promote the movie. You get accommodation to promote the movie. You get a hotel room, you get transportation, things like that. So for her and her husband to keep using these terminologies that confuses the public by saying, well, these are things she was not contractually obligated to do. Well, there's written rules and unwritten rules. Of course she was contractually obligated. Why wouldn't you go on a tour to promote a movie? What she was mad and she wanted to renegotiate after the fact that the movie made so much money. You see what I'm saying? They're conflating the issues.
Yes.
And the people did not want to pay her. And I'm gonna get off the phone, but this is my last point.
Okay.
I wonder that if this had been Miramax or somebody, if this had been a white production company, if this would have been a white director and white producers, would she be doing this? I'm going to leave it at that. Now, you're talking about you love the culture, you love black people. Listen to what I'm talking about now. When you're telling tales out of school and you're telling secrets and you're trying to embarrass people and you're being disrespectful, because sometimes black people feel like other black people owe them things just because they black.
Woo! All right. That
Okay,
is a
I'm gonna leave it there.
thought-provoking
I gotta go back to
comment.
work. I love you.
All right, love you too. Thank you for calling. I just want to say this about if it were a white company as opposed to a black one. I feel like it may be the same, but I feel like that white company may have paid the situation, may have paid for the additional travel. Because in the same vein, you could think, well, maybe Lee Daniels is being harder on her because she is a black woman. You see what I'm saying? If it was a white actress in the same position as Monique was in, who took less to do the movie, and then Lee wanted her to travel, overseas to promote the movie, would he not have paid the white actors? I mean, just think of it both ways. Just think of it. Caller 7865, you are on the line.
Hello, Monique. It's Gerald.
Monique. I ain't Monique.
I ain't Monique. Michelle. Hey, Michelle. This is Gerald. I'm sorry. Lord, y'all got Monique in my head.
What's up, Gerald? What's up, Pastor Gerald?
Oh, God. So I got two things I want to talk about. I want to talk about the Dame Dash and Lee Daniels situation, and then I'm going to jump on the Monique situation. Mm-hmm. Now, we all got to commend Lee Daniels for, his honesty, his bravery, and things of that sort, such as him saying, sometimes it takes for a person to come at you a certain type of way for you to get something.
What? Okay, didn't Monique come at him a certain type of way? Okay, I'm going to let you finish. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, but okay. So my thing is that like Lee Daniels said, like LaCroix said, on paper it's an investment. So on paper he doesn't owe. You know what I'm saying? Dame Dash, what Dame Dash said he owes him. And I believe in Indian giving. I believe that a person can give you something and want it back. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like that they should just let the courts settle that out. If Lee Daniels said, I don't owe this man nothing and he gave this to me because I'm a brother and nobody will help me, and he saw that nobody would help me and he did it as an investment to sow into my dreams or to give into what I believe in, to kick that door in Hollywood down that was not kicked down before I came on the scene, then I think that you should get your money back if that's the case. You understand what I'm saying? If you give it to somebody to help them, then I don't feel like that they should have to give you something back, or they're obligated to give them something back because all of a sudden you stepped in, to give them that. But the question is did Lee Daniels asked Dame Dash for $2 million? That's what I want to know. Because all I'm hearing is this man gave me, or I gave him $2 million. And like Lee Daniels said, he said you would get your investment back, but how do you define getting your investment back? Like, what? Maybe I'm gonna give it to you one day to give it to something that you believe in. But you know what I'm saying?
But Lee said it was an investment. Dame never said that, so we don't know what it was at this point. We know that Dame took him to court and Dame won, and he still hasn't paid.
Right.
So I mean, that was Lee, doing spin control, saying it was an investment that didn't pay off. Because if that was the case, he wouldn't have to pay, or he wouldn't be obligated to pay, or he wouldn't feel obligated to pay if he did not legitimately owe this money, in my opinion. So I think Dame loaned him the money, like $2 million. I mean, to give an individual, an up and coming director, that's not like something that you would just do without the thought of giving back. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it just seems like they had an agreement, and Lee didn't honor it. And why else would he confront him the way he did?
So, and then my thing is, why would Lee Daniels sit in front of the world without a publicist and say that this man signed a legal document saying that this was an investment, and on paper I don't owe him anything, but he feels as though I do. So what do you define an investment as? Like, what is the definition of investment to you? How would you perceive that?
I mean, there's risk associated with an investment. Clearly, there's risk. And, with an investment, you may get some of it back. You may not get any of it back. You may get more back. But, it just depends on what exactly he was investing in. If he was investing in Lee Daniels' future and he gave him $2 million
right.
for the future, for your career. And here we are,
right.
5 years later, and he's a billionaire. Then his investment paid off, and he should pay him with
right.
interest. You see what I'm saying? So we don't Lee
right,
Daniels
yeah.
is making it seem like he invested in a particular movie that flopped or whatever. We don't know what the
right.
investment was for. So.
Right. Okay, yeah, I agree with you on that. I mean, so at this point, just let the courts decide on that thing. But when Lee Daniels told Monique to shut up and that Monique was blackballing herself, I agree with him. I think Monique is blackballing herself because you don't bite the hand that feeds you. I feel like that, like he said that he rooted for Monique to get that position, and Monique wouldn't have the awards that she have if it wasn't for Lee Daniels. I feel as though I feel like that he gave her an opportunity, and he gave her what she asked for, what she agreed to, and she want more, and now because she can't get that, she's attacking these people. And I think that is blackballing. When you attack someone publicly like that, then that make other people that see what you're doing not wanting to work with you. That is blackballing yourself. When you're doing what she's doing, constantly attacking Monique, Lee Daniels, and constantly attacking Tyler Perry, and constantly attacking Oprah Winfrey, because of what you want that you didn't get, that is blackballing yourself. So he's right. She is blackballing herself.
But telling her to shut up, do you think that was an adequate response? He didn't tell Dame Dash to shut up when he was in his face cursing him out.
Right. Well, but when he said that she's out of pocket and stuff like that, and that she's wrong and that she needs to shut up, I basically think that he said you need to stop before you bury your career. Like you need to stop before you bury your career further than what it already is. So I understand what he said. Sometimes you need to shut up, just like when you have a lawyer, and you go into court with your attorney, you don't speak. You let your lawyer speak. You understand what I'm saying? So be quiet. Let me do this.
But he didn't ask Dame Dash to shut up. He didn't say Dame Dash needs his lawyer to speak up for him at this Diana Ross concert. He gave Dame Dash total respect. I respect Dame Dash. He was right. He got in my face in the middle of a concert while Diana Ross was on stage, embarrassed the fuck out of me. But I respect him. So why is it different? Why is it different?
It's different because Dame Dash gave Lee Daniels $2 million. Lee Daniels gave Monique
Lee Daniels gave Monique 50 G's for a movie that made over millions of dollars. So, what's the difference? She's speaking out on something she feels is unfair. It was her talent that caused this movie to go as far as it did. Like, he's taking credit for her awards. He's taking credit for everything.
Yeah.
I fought for that position for her, and she won awards. She should thank me, blah, 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 blah. Instead of just cutting her a check.
She should kiss his booty.
She should kiss his ass, but Dame Dash should really.
I think you don't bite the hand that feeds you. You can't get mad because you don't get to get what you want. Okay, there's other people. I'm sure there's more people in the world that are better than Monique. Monique is doing all of this because she's Monique. She's full of herself. She only cares about herself.
And why she got to be full of? Why does she have to be full of herself? Because she's a black woman. If she, she has won these awards based on her talent. Like if it was Meryl Streep demanding the same thing that Monique is demanding right now, would we be looking at her differently?
But Michelle, my thing is, Monique agreed to the contract. She signed the contract. This is what she got.
Contracts can be renegotiated. Contracts can be renegotiated. What are you saying? I'm not gonna argue.
Well,
I'm done.
She should have did that before they signed the final deal.
But no one knew that the movie was gonna do what it did, and once it did, let's.
Right. I just feel like, okay, so with the Tyler Perry call, Tyler Perry said, okay, what do I owe you? Okay, let me send you what I owe you. I felt like that she really tried to turn Tyler Perry against Lee Daniels and Oprah Winfrey. And I'll say this, because after he offered them the money, and that's the only thing that you really crying about, and because, you know, you feel like that you're being blackballed, and that's why you can't get no more jobs in Hollywood, you wanted Tyler Perry to publicly admit that Oprah Winfrey and Lee Daniels, they were all wrong for how they treated you. So she really don't want the money. She just want to
Well, at
cry.
this point, I
she
think
just want to be seen. She want attention. She's an attention whore. And for that, throw the whole damn Monique away. Because when I was on Monique podcast a year ago, I called in on Monique and on Monique's show, and I asked Monique. I said, Monique, what happened to the late night show that you had on BET with you and Rodney Perry? Out of Monique's own mouth, she said that BET was trying to give her what she wanted. And now when I look at this situation, she said, call BET and ask them why they took us off the air. And when I look at this situation, I see the same exact thing. Monique is the problem. She's the problem. They give her stuff because she was on there, and then she want to come back and get more stuff. It don't work like that. You need to do all that stuff before you sign contracts and shit. So, I mean, nobody's fucking with Monique. Monique is blackballing herself because I wouldn't want to work with nobody like this that would try to secretly record me, put me out there, then turn around and attack me like this after I fed you, gave you 2 awards.
No,
well, I mean, girl, you would be nothing.
Okay, Gerald.
Shut up.
Okay,
So,
Gerald.
that's my take.
Bye, Gerald. Thank you. Thank you as always, Gerald.
I love you.
Thank you. Love you too. Bye. Oh, Gerald, you done made me mad today. I'm not gonna keep arguing with you. I'm not. Caller 6190. No, that's Gerald. I ain't gonna put Gerald back on. Caller 3147. Caller 3147. You're on the line.
Girl, look, I'm really
First, who am I speaking with?
Can you hear me?
Yes, who am I speaking with?
Nicole.
Hey, Nicole. Okay, go ahead.
Look, hey, I'm really, really, really getting sick of this whole situation because number one, that lady is not lying, and all these folks getting on this line saying that she going back and forth with all this. The thing of it is, the lady she said out her own mouth, she had a back deal. Well, she got paid $50,000. She's supposed to get 5% of the back deal. Mm-hmm. She only got $15,000 so far. She said that shit out her own mouth, right? Mm-hmm. Have you heard that?
I yes. I can't remember, but yes, I remember something about a side deal back then. That's what Tyler Perry was trying to pay him, isn't it? Pay her, isn't it?
Well, what's taking so long? How long it's been? Why the girl ain't got her money yet?
I don't know. All I know is I feel like Monique is telling the truth about the situation. That, you know, maybe she was labeled unfairly then, but I feel like as time has gone on, the stigma that has been attached to her from that has followed her, and it has gotten bigger. It has snowballed simply because she is speaking out and because of the way people are perceiving her and this, that, and the third. But I do feel like her initial claims, she has some valid initial claims. Now here we are 5, 6, however many years later. Now everybody's looking at her like, you know, she's a loudmouth. She's this, she that. She need to shut up. Why did she keep dragging our favorites? And it's not, you know, it's not helping her cause.
What's the favorite?
Oprah, Tyler, and Lee.
Fuck them. She ain't lying on them. Cause let me tell you, I watched this whole thing play out. Mm-hmm. People ain't listening. Look, she's not lying.
Okay.
She's not saying anything disrespectful. Only thing you can say she did was disrespectful was during her comedy act when she telling them to suck their dick or whatever. But that was a comedy act. Everybody was laughing. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? That's the only thing she has really done that was disrespectful. And she gave that man time to come out and say, look, this is not what happened. He didn't do it, so she blew his ass up same way Dame Dash did. Why is he cool for doing what he did and she's not? That doesn't make any sense to me. And as far as her being difficult, and how many stars have we heard of being difficult, yet their ass is still working?
Right.
Seems like to me, every time this lady try to do something, somebody's coming and blocking it.
Right. No, I hear you completely.
So why do they get treated different? Why are they allowed? Kevin Hart, those emails that came out when they did that hacking, they said they paid him to promote a big movie.
again,
back when Precious came out, can we say that Monique was on maybe Kevin Hart's level almost? Why they couldn't give her any more money to promote their movie? She did promote the movie in the States. She did what her contract said do. She didn't have a contract to go anywhere else.
Well,
and they could have gave her some more money to go over there and promote their movie.
She's
the reason why it blew up. She's the one got all the damn awards.
That's true. Most people seem to believe it's her husband.
Daniels didn't get any awards for directing that motherfucker. She did. Her job of acting got those awards.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree.
And made him and snowballed him all the way up to Empire Star.
So
the fact of the matter is, in my opinion, they are lying on her. If Oprah could sit up there and bring her molesting brother on her show and her mama and her dad and not tell her Oprah ass ain't good either.
Well, no one said that Oprah was above reproach.
That don't mean they are nice people.
That's true. That's true. But I mean, my issue is the whole, he's respecting Dame Dash but disrespecting Monique's situation. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like at the end of the day, he owes them both some type of explanation. I don't know about an apology, but something. And clearly he did them both wrong. So I mean, why does one deserve your total respect and one doesn't?
Exactly.
So
that's fat black woman, loud black woman shit, even though that lady ain't said nothing disrespectful towards them. Mm-hmm. She just told her truth.
Right.
And I believe her. She has never changed one word. But he backpedaling pussy pops and this, that, and the other. I just don't understand. That man is no good. He's a fake. Did you see that Rock Ranch interview, how he was just sitting up there? Like, I don't know, that dude just come off fake as hell.
I played a clip of it at the beginning of this stream. But yeah, he's interesting. That's what I'm saying. The things that he said, like he literally said, I totally respect Dame. That, like he literally said that. And then on the other hand, he's like, Monique needs to shut up. And it's like the whole attitude changed because, again, Brown Diamond said it, one is a woman and one is a man. This man deserves your total respect and this woman does not. I just didn't like the way he did that. This is a public interview. Even if you didn't agree with what Monique said, there was a way he could have said it that was not dismissive. Shut up. Why are you telling her to shut up? You know what I'm saying? You didn't tell Dame Dash to shut up when he was in your face. So, And
he totally embarrassed your ass. And and that movie made $47 million or something like that. Why she only got $15,000? She had a back end deal. Where the rest of that money went?
Here we go.
And I don't think she give a damn about the money. Like the other dude said, she want her name cleared.
Right,
so
she wants her name cleared. At this point, she wants her name cleared.
It ain't nothing wrong with that. The rest of these different J-Lo, she only want a white dressing room.
Right.
So Beyonce only want to drink out of titanium straw. Who the hell for the scrounge around for titanium straw? Where the fuck you find them at?
Beyonce is a whole other. Beyonce and Monique ain't got nothing to do with each other. Beyonce has transcended race. Beyonce is like OJ. She ain't black. She Beyonce. So we can't even add Beyonce to this conversation. But I agree though. I totally agree.
But some people could perceive stuff like that as difficult, but yet they're still working. You see what I'm saying?
Yep. You think
why
about
can't she?
The old Hollywood actresses that used to demand so much. Joan Crawford, like anybody. Like I'm sure they were like just as hard to deal with as say a Monique is. And the issue is are they acting this way towards Monique because she's a black woman and her claim should be dismissed. She doesn't deserve it. She should shut up and take what she's given.
I think they are doing her like that because she told them no. Let's renegotiate the contract. Okay, you don't want to do that. Fine. I think it's simply because she said no to these three people.
Yep.
And she didn't do what they wanted her to do.
Right.
And that's when it come in it.
I agree. And I don't know what she can do now differently. Like she said, she ain't got nothing to lose. That's why she leaking phone conversations, emails, text messages. It don't matter if you didn't text Monique in the past about this situation and you close to it. Will Packer, Tyler Perry, Oprah, you are, fair game at this point. She like she said, she ain't got nothing to lose. I want to, share my truth. Here's this conversation I had with Tyler. Again, she should have released everything, but the snippets, I guess, were enough to support her claims. But thank you so much, caller. I appreciate your input.
Sure.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you.
Caller 0405. Turn your computer down. It's you. 0405. Hello. Can you hear me? Okay. Next caller. 7258. You're on the line.
Hey, this is Jerome.
Hey, Jerome. How are you?
I'm okay. So let's talk about this issue. I feel like everyone is missing a valid point on the situation. But let's just start off. Monique and Lee Daniels were friends, so they mixed their friendship and business, and that is where the problem lies. Monique did Lee Daniels a favor because he came to her and asked her would she do Precious and would she do $50,000 because they didn't have the money in the budget. She agreed to that. That was her own doing. She fulfilled her contractual obligation, though, when, she did the movie. To promote the movie, that wasn't in the contract. Mm-hmm. And if you're doing a favor for a friend and, he's not able to pay you what you're worth, then you want her to do more work. It's like, no, at that point, you're taking advantage of me. And so when people are saying, don't bite the hand that feeds you, they both fed each other. And Lee Daniels, at the end of the day, got the bigger meal. So it's like, I would feel some type of way about that too.
Right.
And then people are like being mad at Monique for blowing up, but they're not realizing the reason as to why she's blowing up. And as far as the caller was talking about the BET show, Monique had the show on BET. We already know that. But after she won those awards, then her pay goes up. So after that season, what she did was she tried to renegotiate the pay. Mm-hmm. And BET basically told her no. Mm-hmm. And so that's why they decided to end the show. It's the same thing that happened with Gabrielle Union, who was doing Being Mary Jane. Mm-hmm. They paid her a certain amount, and then for the next season, they added more episodes on and wanted to pay her the same amount. She's like, no, y'all going to pay me for, doing more work. Mm-hmm. And so why do a black woman have to settle for getting bits and pieces and crumbs to do work and to do more work and to promote and do all this? So she's just taking a stand.
Right. And as soon as they speak out, they're labeled hard to deal with or hard to work with or...
Yeah, hard to deal with. Yeah. And here's the thing. Even... and I really don't want to mention his name, but I'll do it anyway. Even, what's his name? That did Something Yard in Girls Trip.
Who did what in Girls Trip?
Who did Girls Trip?
Oh, Will Packer.
Will Packer. Uh-huh. Yes, even Will Packer was kind of came out a little bit and said that she was hard to work with on set. Mm-hmm. And then Monique went to the production team and went to
went over his head.
Like, did it on camera. And she's like, was I hard to work with? They was like, no, we never heard that. That never happened. And they didn't explain. She said she was on a trailer, and the trailer, had blew up and caught on her and everything. So it's like.
But she also went over Will Packer's head to try to negotiate. Like she went to the studio. Instead, you know what I mean? So there's some things too. Well, I don't know if it was her or her husband manager, but there's some things that they did that, you can give the side eye to too. You know what I'm saying? So, and Will brought that up after they leaked all the emails. And he was like, basically, they were trying to negotiate with me and I was trying to tell them what the budget was. And then they go over my head to get more money. So it's like, A, sure, it's okay to speak up and demand what you're worth, but B, how are you going to go over the person who hired you?
And I agree with that and I understand that, but I also feel like what is hard to work with? Because some people think hard to work with is when you demand a certain respect, mm-hmm. or you won't tolerate bits and pieces and crumbs and,
right.
and mediocre.
Right.
So if my what is it called, the roster? What is it called when you have a list of your things that you want in your dress room and all that?
Your rider.
Yeah, if my rider said this, that, and the other, and I don't get that, and if I say something about that, is that being hard to work with, or is it hard to work with when you want me to work 15 hours versus the 10 hours you're going to say. So when they never said what ways she was hard to work with. Right. I looked at all the stories. What ways is she hard to work with for demand and respect? And then here's another thing. If Damon Dash can roll up on Lee Daniels and on camera and blast him and cuss him out or whatever, and then Lee Daniels can remain civil with him, and he wasn't even friends like he was with Monique, what does that tell you? And then here's another thing. If Lee Daniels been ducking and dodging Damon Dash for 15 years about his $2 million, is it so hard to believe that Lee Daniels is around here making phone calls for Monique to be blackballed and not hired for certain projects?
I mean, that's true. I mean, didn't he do an interview and basically say, yes, Monique is done in Hollywood? Back when she was doing those interviews, they were doing like back-to-back interviews. Like she went on CNN, he went on CNN. She went on HSN, you know what I'm saying? It's not Home Shopping Network, but you know what I'm saying. But Headline News or whatever, and he went on Headline. Part of it. So, you know, it was like, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's the friendship part of it. It's like my friend did me wrong. And that's what I feel like Monique is really coming from. Like, the business wasn't taken care of, but it's like, I'm hurt. Like, I did this for my friend, and he did me wrong, and everybody's just mad at me, but they don't see everything else that's going on behind the scenes.
Right.
I even believe that Oprah, because she was, you know, she's friends with Lee Daniels, and Lee Daniels was and still is like this popping producer and director like that. I believe Oprah did that to be spiteful. Like, why would you're not bringing on like a regular family, like you bringing on someone that you've had some kind of relationship with, whether it was industry friends or whatever. You bringing her family on to talk about a traumatic experience, and then you call her like, I think she called her like some days before and said like, I'm bringing your family on if you want to make a comment or fly out. Like, you don't do that. There are certain things you don't do, but because you know it's all part of this, let's take Monique down, then everyone is mad about it. And Monique could have dealt with things differently, but when you fed up and a whole bunch of things are going wrong behind the scenes and we don't know about that, like, you pop off. And she has a right to pop off. And
I believe she has a right to pop off. I feel like she should be a little bit more strategic, about some of the things she's doing, because it's like once you burn some bridges, it's nothing else you can do. Like, she's doing so much that it's like it's no way to return. You know what I mean? So,
but it's also because she's a woman. It's also because she's a black woman that she can't say certain things or do certain things. Like the caller said, like, she did this in her comedy when she popped off a little bit and told them what she told them. Damon Dash rolled up on Lee Daniels like he was about to fight him, and he probably would have if he didn't fear being sued.
Right.
But it's like, so this black man can roll up on you on camera in your face like, you owe me my money, you disrespectful, you've been hiding all this stuff, and you get mad at what Monique saying in some interviews.
Right. No, I feel you. That's my issue right there. Like, I just feel like it should have been handled a lot better. Like, he was disrespectful. He could have respected both, even though he didn't agree with both, and he treated them both, the situations were different. He could have treated them both with, some type of professionalism instead of telling this woman she needs to shut up.
And because of people been slamming Monique, he feel like he has the fuel and ammunition to continue to slam her. If people would have been slamming Damon Dash, he probably wouldn't even taken care of the issue right now.
Yeah, he wouldn't have responded. I mean, as soon as they got in Lee Daniels' comments and was dragging him, and you need to pay this money back, and you a snake, and you this and you that, yeah, he knew he had to do something. That's why he called up TMZ and sat with the first person they gave him. And, they didn't even sit him with Harvey. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, like, really? Yeah. But, don't even get me started with that. I respect Raquel for doing what she do, but I just don't think, it was the right person to interview him in that situation.
Yeah, and then he said to Lee Daniels, he said, I loaned you $2 million. You told me you'll pay me back in 2 months or 4 months or whatever it was, and you did it. And Lee Daniels was like, you right. And I'm like, y'all don't understand that this man been owing this man for 15 years, and he's been ducking and dodging him after he's been making millions and millions and millions. Lee Daniels been going around acting like he ain't made no money the way he been ducking and dodge him. You know how you let somebody borrow.
And he probably got all his money hidden in different corporations and this, that, and the third. That's why Dame can't garnish him. He put his money in, other people's names.
It was crazy, but that's all I have to say about this. Like, I'm Team Monique. Yes, she could have done it differently, but I feel like sometimes even if she would have done it differently and played the role and been nice, she probably would have got even more screwed over. So sometimes, like, you got to act up, and there'll be consequences behind that. But at the end of the day, I think she's just trying to clear her name. The business was wrong, and the friendship was. It was what it was.
Right.
She's really doing him a favor. And if somebody as a friend would told me, like, here, I only got this for you, or whatever, can you do this, that, and the other? And I do that, and they're like, well, can you also do this? And can you also do this? And can you also do this? It's like, well, no. If you give me $15 to take you to 2 places, and now you want to go to 7 and don't want to give me no more money, it's like, no, you using me. You taking advantage of my niceness. And no, I shouldn't be happy because you gave me $15 when you should be giving me more for doing more work.
Right.
And then she told Tyler Perry, she said, well, I would promote the movie. I don't really care where the money came from. Was you going to pay me the money? He said, no, I don't give away free money. And I don't work for free. And it shut him right on up. But that's what I was calling in for.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jerome. Always a pleasure to hear from you. And your input is awesome.
No problem.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right.
Caller 6367.
Hi, Michelle.
Hey, how are you? Who am I speaking
I'm
with?
good. This is Leo, the Lioness Queen from Detroit.
Hey, Lioness Queen. Leo, the Lioness Queen. You a Leo also?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Team Leo. So what do you
think?
What do you think about this situation?
This is what I think about it. And before I even begin, Michelle, I want to keep it real because as a Leo, you know how we got to keep it real.
Mm-hmm.
In past situations, I have been in the comments going at you, not saying anything about you bad, but just giving my opinion.
Okay.
But as I have grown to watch your channel, I have grown to like you and appreciate who you are as a person. So I just want to keep it real and say I was going at your ass in the beginning.
It's all good. I got a lot of people who go at me. It's all good. I appreciate it. Appreciate your honesty.
Anyway, the way I feel about this situation is this. And I came in towards the middle, so if I repeat what somebody else say, I apologize in advance. In regards to the whole Monique situation, I think what a lot of people are missing is everybody keeps talking about her demanding more money. And in the very beginning, because I'm also one of the people that followed it from the very beginning, that was not what she was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
When it came to her getting paid to promote, she turned it down initially, and they kept asking her. And because of the fact they kept asking her, that's when she came back and said, well, okay, if y'all want me to do this so bad, are y'all going to pay me? They said no. And then that was the end of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because of her, and that's when I think they tried to flip the narrative to where they were saying, oh, she's trying to demand more money. When it comes to the $50,000 that Lee Daniels paid her, she said from the very beginning that she agreed to that and she was fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
She wanted to spend time with her family.
Right.
At the end of the day, that's what it all started from, and then it got flipped. When it comes up to now with everything, do I believe that Monique is lying in regards to the different claims she's made towards like Lee Daniels, Oprah? No, I do not. Do I understand her reasoning? Yes. But her approach is fucked up.
Right.
Period.
That's how I feel.
A lot of times, in a lot of situations, and this is just my opinion, this is the stuff that I would say to you not to bring up the last situation. But sometimes when you're in a so-called battle with somebody, sometimes your need to be right or prove that you're right can end up putting you in a more fucked up situation than just to trust the universe and let the universe handle it.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When you're so busy throwing mud back and forth, a lot of times that you just shut the fuck up. Because sometimes we do need to shut up. And time will show who the real villain is.
And you know, I always say that. I always say that. The truth don't need no help.
It will say that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to be quiet. And a lot of times it's hard for us to be quiet when we feel like we're right. But sometimes it really is not about you being right. Sometimes you got to let the universe God, whoever you believe in, do his work. He can't do his work if you constantly putting your hands in it.
Right.
This situation happening with Dame Dash probably would have made it even a bigger retribution for Monique if she had stopped doing some of the shit that she was doing.
Right.
And I do believe that her husband is an issue. When it came to the Tyler Perry recording, it was hard for me to even listen to it because it was so annoying. It's like, get to the point. The talk can be very condescending, very slavish, like a lot of people have to say. It do sound like that. Like, just get to the point. Tyler Perry better than me because I would have hung up on her ass after 2 minutes.
Right.
It was hard for me to listen to that. The way that her husband was talked to, them. And I want to jump on something else. A lady called Firestarter, she called in to your show the other day, and I think that was her that was saying something about Monique's husband trying to be her abuser, and she not realizing it.
Right. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I believe that he is a person that she needs to be looking at as well, because clearly his negotiations are not going well. And like I said, even if you do feel that you're right, all the stuff that you're doing, your seed is not yielding any results. You need to change your approach.
I agree. Well, thank you so much for
that's just my opinion.
Oh, thank you so much for your input. And thank you for, coming on to Team ATLian. I appreciate you.
No problem. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Bye. Caller 0405.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi,
hey, you wouldn't speak last time. I was almost about to hang up. I was like, let me try it one more time because I know they've been holding.
It was on a delay, so I missed you. By the time I could get, it doesn't matter. That's fine. I'm sorry about that.
So who am I speaking with? How you doing?
I just wanted to say I am in complete agreement, especially with this last caller. I too, like everyone's been saying, been following this from the beginning when Monique first came out and was expressing her concerns. And she first talked about this conversation with Tyler Perry the day after she had that conversation. And so I feel like part of the reason why Tyler hasn't come out as he, promised he would on the call was because when I said she never gave him a chance,
right?
He really never gave him a chance. The next day, they were revealing the whole conversation word for word.
Right.
At that time, we didn't know that it was recorded. And then for the last couple of months, she's been releasing pieces of the conversation, the actual recording, playing it on her podcast, and saying they would be revealing more over the next few weeks and so forth.
So trying to force his hand.
And then, I'm sorry?
Trying to force his hand, pretty much. Like, he hadn't came out publicly yet, so they were like, well, we gonna come out publicly since you won't.
Exactly, and I felt as if that there was no need for that. Now, I had been on her side pretty much the whole time thinking, okay, yes, the way she's going about this is not how I would suggest going about it, going on all these stations. Even the way she started it with her response or her comments she made during that comedy routine. All of those things I've had a problem with, thinking maybe she crossed the line a couple of times, but I never thought she was telling a lie. I've always agreed that she was being truthful and that, yes, maybe she was being treated unfairly. Yes, if she was white, if she was a white male, if it was somebody else, a whole lot of things would have happened differently. I do agree, though, too, that with this Damon Dash situation, had she not said anything, just like that caller said, I think when Damon had this situation with Lee Daniels, I do believe that people would have respected her and come back and said, you know what? This is an attack on Lee Daniels' character, so to speak. I mean, I think it says a little something about the way he does business that might not be all the way, on
legit.
the level.
Yeah.
I do also agree with you that he is showing much more respect, Lee Daniels, that is, for Damon Dash than he is for Monique. A, because he's a man, but also I think he fears Damon Dash.
Exactly.
He doesn't have anything to fear with Monique. Damon Dash probably would have whooped his ass if he didn't have so much to lose at this point. He's had that reputation in the past. Damon too is trying to evolve, but his patience was much better than mine too. It's been 100 years, and this nigga still hadn't paid him his money. He took him to court. He still didn't pay after that, and now this man is acting like, oh well, sometimes people have to come to you a certain way for you to sit back, take a step back, and think of it differently. At the end of the day, I think you're right. It has a lot to do with Lee not respecting her as a woman, as a black woman, and how, he felt disrespected from the beginning. But if this doesn't show us anything else, Damon did disrespect him as well. And just as much, if you will. He recorded him without his knowledge. Damon is the one who put that camera on that man and said, I'm about to go over here and talk to this nigga. Y'all film it,
and I'm going to put it online, and I'm going to blast him. I'm going to shame him enough till he pay me.
Exactly. So I won't hold you any more than that, but, because everybody has said pretty much the same thing. But at the end of the day, I think Monique has kind of dug this grave for herself. I feel bad for her because of it, but again, some things should be left sacred. Nobody's going to trust having conversations with her. They don't know what they can say to her, promise her, do for her, and she not, use it against them later. Right. So I think that that's unfortunate. And unless she does something about this relationship with her husband too, which I hate, because I think that she's trying to be loyal to him, and she's trying to show a representation. In their mind, they are doing the right thing. They are representing Black love, Black folks, the community, theirs. In their mind, they think they're doing something noble, but it's really worked against them, and she needs to get that different representation and start over if there's ever going to be a chance for a new or a different career for herself. So
I agree.
That's just my case.
Well, thank you so much for your input.
Thank you. Thanks for listening. I love your station.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Caller 1228. You're on the line.
Hey, Michelle. How you doing?
Hey, who am I speaking with?
This is Dwayne.
Hey, Dwayne. What do you think about the situation?
Hey, I think, I see that Lee Daniels, his name was Lee Daniels, right?
Yes.
It wasn't a problem when Damon Dash approached him and set up the cameras and filmed in front of him. That wasn't a problem. Nobody had a problem with him doing that. But it seems like I've been listening to some of the callers, and it seems like everybody has a problem with Monique recording the conversation with Tyler Perry, though, and putting that out to the public. But nobody seems to have a problem with Damon Dash recording him approaching Damon Dash real aggressively. But nobody has a problem with that. But he owes him $2 million as a difference. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, Lee Daniels is not going to say, oh, Damon Dash approached me. Oh, I feel horrible. Oh, he shouldn't have did that. But he's speaking all good to him because, he has a lawsuit against him. Mm-hmm. Monique doesn't have a lawsuit against Mr. Lee Daniels.
Right.
She's just the one who was paid $50,000 and treated like garbage.
Right.
She's the one who was, I didn't hear anybody else bring up this point. So it's like, it's kind of like the same situation if you think about it, because, why is it okay for Lee Daniels to tell Monique to shut up, but he didn't say anything against Damon Dash or even say anything publicly about him recording him and put it out to social media?
I totally
wouldn't have known any of this if it wasn't for Damon Dash.
I totally agree, and I brought it up that in the interview he did with Raquel on TMZ, he did say, I totally respect Dame Dash. He said that. He said those words, and then a few minutes later in the same interview, he was telling Monique needs to shut up. She was totally disrespectful. So again, I saw that and I'm like, whoa, that's kind of. There's a way, like, even if he didn't agree with what Monique had to say, there's a way he could have said it instead of telling her to shut up. That was disrespectful, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's like, okay, Lee, maybe Monique needs to go approach Lee Daniels and bring a camera with her and say, hey, let's talk about this Precious thing and put it all out there on social media. It seems like that's the only way to get a reaction out of people.
I guarantee you 100%.
He would Lee Daniels to finally sit down and have an interview.
I guarantee you 1,000% he would not be as meek and mild as he was with Dame Dash. I bet if Monique had did the same thing, he probably would have been snapping and cursing at her back. And I guarantee you it would have been a different situation. I don't know. I just feel that way.
Because she's a female, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm not understanding Lee Daniels' perspective or his way of thinking. For him to call out Monique and tell her to shut up, and he doesn't call out Damon Dash for anything because you owe that man money. You know that you are wrong for that, so you ain't gonna have nothing bad to say about him in the media. But you got everything bad to say about Monique because all she wants to do is feel appreciated as a black actress.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, there are a lot of underpaid black actresses. I'm sure the highest paid black actress don't make no more than $2 million in Hollywood a movie.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot, and I said that in another. I'm sorry.
I didn't hear you, Michelle. What are you saying?
I was saying that in another stream. I'm sorry. Anyway, I said it in another stream how I felt like Monique. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought when I saw this damn Army helicopter over my head. I apologize, but there are I felt like it would have made Monique's case stronger had she corralled a bunch of other actresses, a bunch of other black actresses who were going through the same thing. It would have been similar to the Me Too movement. You know what I'm saying? If there are these black actresses who have proof that they're not getting the same treatment or the same pay as white actresses, it would have been a different situation. But Monique is fighting for herself and her career, and it just seems a little, presumptuous. I mean, I don't know, not presumptuous, but it just would have gave her argument a little bit more credibility or weight.
Yeah, maybe she should start sitting down with some of her famous Hollywood actresses friends, if she has any in Hollywood, or even some actresses out there, and have them speak about how all the black actresses are underappreciated. I mean, I don't know if she's cool with Taraji, but she would probably be her best bet because she is on Empire, and I do remember Taraji saying she is underpaid on the show, and it is a Lee Daniels produced show on Fox, so I don't know what type of power
or other black
Taraji
actresses
has,
who have gone through similar situations where they demanded to be, equally compensated and weren't. You know what I'm saying? There, I'm sure there are other instances, but that's it's a sticky situation. A lot of people are saying in the chat, because they're afraid of being blackballed like her, and I can understand that too. Nobody wants to prevent themselves from working. So, but I appreciate your input, caller, and thank you for tuning in. All right, bye bye. Oh, y'all, it's getting later and later, and I got to get out of here. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. I'll take the 3 more calls, but please be very quick. Please, 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 please. Caller 8564, you're on the line.
Hey, my love.
Hi. Who am I speaking
with? This is Monique, girl.
It's Monique?
Monique.
Which Monique?
Not that Monique. Monique that always talks to you on your other team.
Yes. Hey, Monique. I'm like, I always have to ask, like, what? Like, what's going on, Monique? What do you think about these levels of disrespect?
I hear a lot of. I think he was very disrespectful in the way he said that she needs to shut up. But honestly, a lot of us at this point is saying, damn, can you just shut up about it? Like, you've been talking about it forever and ever and ever and ever. But this is a point that I want to also make. And I want to ask you this question. Before Monique did Precious, what other movie did she do Fat Girls before she actually did Precious? Or was there another movie before Precious?
She did all of those. I think she did all of those before Precious, I believe. Like Soul Plane and I can't think of too many other, but all of those were before Precious. Then after Precious, she had like Blackbird and I can't remember what was the other ones. The movie with Queen Latifah, and she also had the movie with Will Packer.
Okay, so this is my point, and this is just a point that I want to make. It's a different way of looking at things, and this is kind of how I see things, because sometimes we cannot be so narrow in our view on how we look at things. Soul Plane was a comedy. That was in Monique's genre. That's like what she did. She was a comedian. She crossed over. She did that movie with the comedy. Fat Girls was still on the line of comedy. When she got Precious was so out of the realm of what Monique does. And because she was excellent at that part, it wasn't expected for that movie to do what it did. And I guess that's why she accepted the $50,000, because it was something that, wasn't what she normally did. And even with that, if she accepted $50,000 for that one, maybe she accepted $50,000 or less for Soul Plane and the other movies. We just don't know. But when Precious blew up so big, and I think it has a lot to do with Monique was able to really dig deep within herself because of the abuse that she went through as a child. So she gave an excellent performance because maybe some of this was so close to what she had been through. So it just blew up and it took her to another level. Some of the issue that I think it is that once Monique won the award, because again, we said this on the other night on your other channel when we had a conversation, once she won the award, I think Monique felt like, now I'm an Oscar winner, so I deserve all of this money. But this is the thing, you did good, extraordinarily good in that one movie. If I was a director and I had a script for you, I don't know if you would have hit the same with the next movie the way you hit with Precious.
But the Oscar is like the highest award that an actress, like at the end of the day, like
it is, but it's also for that performance. She didn't have a long resume in acting. She has a long resume in comedy. She's a crossover. That's like, let's look at other people. When Will Smith went from being a rapper to getting the Fresh Prince show, I'm sure he didn't make the money that he didn't move from one genre to another genre and made all of that money as we know him to be Will Smith now on the level that he is. It took him working. It took him going from one type of character to another, so we can see the diversity in his career.
Okay.
Let's use Mary J. Blige. She now has the movie Mudbound. On Mary J. standards, from being a songstress, she should have got $1 million for $1 trillion for Mudbound, but we know she didn't get paid that kind of money because it's a crossover deal.
Right.
But she was good in the movie.
Right.
She was really good in the movie. No, she didn't win no whole bunch of awards for it, but now we're starting to see that Mary is not one-dimensional. Mary has more to offer us. And I'm sure as she grows and as she's offered more and more and more, her pay scale on that genre of acting is going to be different than what it was in the singing community. I think that's some of the issues. When they asked Monique to go to Cannes and to, promote the movie outside of America and, do some stuff outside, they didn't ask her to pay for herself to go. She said, I respectfully decline. I want to spend time with my family. So they said, how about you bring your family with you? How about we allow you to bring your family with you? Monique said, how much are you going to pay me? That's when it came into the pay thing. What they said is, well, we're not going to pay you to promote the movie as far as paying you like that, but the accommodations will be there. You can bring your family, you can bring your kids. That's all the stuff that she did say. My thing is about it, when it's your face, and I understand Lee Daniels, they made money, but then on Tyler Perry, when you listen to that actual interview that they taped, Tyler said the reason why he felt like Monique was an issue, that he had issues with her, is because he had to go through the Lee Daniels, the Oprah Winfrey, the Monique. It's like he was in the middle of everything. And he even said it, but they kind of overtalked him. But if you listen real good, he said, and I lost the movie to Lionsgate. Mm-hmm. So he had some issues with how the whole situation went down, with him losing what I guess should have stayed in one, category. And he said something about losing the movie to Lionsgate on that conversation. But again, they were talking so loud and over talking him. If you listen real good, that's what he said. So my thing is, if you would have, again, you're promoting yourself. Yeah, they made someone else's movie, but Monique, you was the face of the movie. You were promoting you. I just feel like if the accommodations was there where you didn't have to pay $1 to go to Cannes and they were going to feed you and they were going to, put you up in a hotel, girl, you put your face out there, because now the next thing that's going to come up, you can ask for more money and the money that you need. But because you didn't step outside of yourself, again, because now I feel like I did this, it's almost like a one-hit wonder. Like I made this song and it's on, 1 million copies. I'm just the best, but then you sell a second song and it don't reach what the first song reached. But so I felt like if she just would have kept on working, because everybody says she was blackballed, but she said she got other opportunities. She said other scripts came to her. The thing about it was, when he felt like the stuff that came to her after Precious did not want the money. It wasn't going to pay her the money that she wanted because she won the Oscar.
You're right. Well, I appreciate your input as always, Monique. I gotta cut this call short because I'm running a little bit over time, but we gotta continue this conversation because a lot of more people are calling in about it. I see a lot of people feel some kind of way. But thank you as always, Monique.
I'll talk to you on the other channel about something else.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so thank you all for calling. Brown Diamond asked, what would I have done if I were in a similar situation? Basically, I would have spoken up about it. I don't know if I would not have gone out to promote the movie if everything was, my travel and everything was compensated. There are some things, think about it. Most people never get nominated. Most people never get that far. And it was her first nomination. I feel like there's some things she could have done differently, but hindsight is always 20/20. After she didn't do those things and she was labeled in a certain way, moving forward, I would not have gone. I mean, I don't know that I would have gone as far as she did. Like I said all the time, the truth doesn't need any help. If there was some issues with her being, not shit, I'm sorry, my mom, I'm thinking all over the place. But if there were some issues with her being, hard to deal with, the truth would come out. If there were some issues with them lying about her being hard to deal with, the truth would come out. So I don't feel like, the things that she's done thus far have helped her. That's my position. I would not have done as much as she did. Again, she has some other people in her ear. Of course, her manager, husband, there's some things that, they decided to do together as a couple. Him, putting the information out or vice versa. I'm speaking to this person, I'm speaking to that person. After a while, it's just become so convoluted. I don't know that there's a way to recover from it. Tyler tried to help them. It's just been one thing after the next. Where do they go from here? I don't know. I'm hoping that she recovers. I always root for the underdog, and at this point, Monique is the underdog. But again, the more she talks about it, the more the situation is looking like you're the person that we don't want to work with. So hopefully, things will get better. But again, if you haven't liked this video, please like it. Thank you guys for tuning in for this hour and a half conversation about the Monique Lee Daniels Dame Dash situation. It's an ongoing conversation. Monique, again, as I told you earlier in the stream, she responded as to why she leaked the call. Clearly, she said she didn't have anything to lose, and she felt like it would strengthen her story, and now was the right time. You can't tell anybody how to be mad or how to, go about, defending themselves, and that was her decision to do. So, thank you again, you guys. Like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. Tune in later. Visit straightfromtheA.com if you haven't, to read the entire written version of the story, and I will see you guys later. Thank you. Bye.